Boy, this is a good one. Somebody asked me why alcoholics and addicts lie. Why are we such liars? And boy, that's a loaded question for sure. We lie even when we don't have to. First thing, you have to understand first, we suffer from an abnormal state of mind and body. Our thinking is different than yours. So if you are a loved one, obviously it was a loved one that asked me this, not my loved one, someone else's loved one. And they sent me that. Why is this lying such an issue? Well, when you're sick like that, when you're sick and you have to get well, all right, I know that seems crazy, well, so how can I tell you this? Because it's opposite of what you think. You think that when we get drunk, we're getting sick. But really, when we get drunk, we're getting well. We're sick. We get sick when we don't eat. Don't eat. Well, it depends on what you're using. But if you are a heroin addict and you don't have any heroin, you will start getting sick. And you start looking for a fix to get well. So you can feel like, whew. There's a movie. I've talked about this before. It's a Denzel Washington movie. And it's called Airplane. And he's a pilot. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name. I wasn't thinking I was going to talk about this, or I would have looked it up. But I think you know the movie I'm talking about. Maybe 10 years ago, maybe 15. And he's an airline pilot, and he's drinking. He's an alcoholic, and he's doing cocaine. And he gets in trouble, and he actually saves the day. But they find out that he's been drinking on the job, and he's got to go to court. And they take him to a hotel, and they take the mini bar out. I think they took the mini bar out. I can't remember. It's been a long time, but anyway, you can't keep alcohol and drugs away from an alcoholic. And I think he breaks into the next room, and he gets that mini bar, and he gets drunk, and they come to get him for court the next day. This is all very quick, I know. They come to get him for court the next day, and he is hungover, and he's got to go in front of this big court jury, and he's got to testify, and he's hungover. So they call his drug dealer, who's played by John Goodman, to come over to get him well, right? And he comes over, and he mixes him 2 martinis and about 4 lines of Coke, and you can see him drink, and then you see him do the lines, and then you see him pop his head up, and he goes, "I'm back," right? And right then, when I saw that movie in the theater, I was like, chills. I know that feeling. I'm back, okay? So when you get sick and you have to get loaded, you do anything to get loaded. Your mind is what's sick, right? So an alcoholic's mind is constantly figuring out a way for future manipulation. Just in case. Just in case I've got to get to the store and buy more booze. Just in case I've got to do this. Just in case I've got to find Vicodin. Just in case I've got to get some Xanax, right? So we lie. Is your prescription of Vicodin gone? Yeah, it's gone. I don't have any more. Sorry. Are you sure? Because I'm really hurt. I really need a Vicodin. I'm sorry, they're all gone. When really we have like 6 left, but we're keeping them just in case. You know what I mean? We lie. We don't think we're lying because it doesn't seem like lying. We're planning. We're strategizing. We're surviving in our very sick minds. So when someone asks me, especially parents, why is our son lying to us like this? It's not that he doesn't love you, and it's not that he's a bad person, or that you raised him morally wrong, or he's turned on God. It's because he's sick. His mind is sick. His thinking is backwards. Everything has got to be kind of a selfish, self-centered survival mode. How can I make it through this, right? I need to have enough to make it through the funeral. I need to have enough to do this wedding. I need to make sure I got a stash here. If I go there, they're not going to be serving. It's a no-host bar, right? So I got to make a plan. There's always a plan. There's always something we got to think about. And even sober, we're doing that. Like we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to make sure we're comfortable. We're trying to make sure, we got what we need and we got an out. We got a backup. It's the way the mind works, and we need God for that. That's why we can't stay sober on our own. We have to say things out loud. We have to run it past someone else, because our own mind will start making us think this makes sense. Right? This is a good idea. So our own meter on whether something is honest or not is broken. We don't know. We're just trying to survive our mental illness. And there are people that get in the way. There's casualties. It's unfortunate, but it's a sickness. It's an illness. So I don't know if that really helps you, but I want you to know it's not about you. It's not about the way you raised your kids. It's not about the way you treated your parents. It's not because your parents don't love you if they're the addict and they're lying to you. It's because there's a survival. They're trying to survive this mental illness, and they're doing anything they can to do that. And people, unfortunately get in the way, and there's casualties, and you can't really take it personal. It is the disease. I often refer to the disease as a third party. It helps me. I think of the disease as like Freddy Krueger, and that someone's like possessed. They're not their normal selves. They would never do that to you, right? If they weren't drinking and using, they wouldn't do that. But drinking and using, you're dealing with someone else, and they will do anything. They will beg, borrow, steal. They'll cry, right? They'll be the martyr, or they'll be like the villain, They'll steal from your purse. They'll do things you never thought. But try to remember, it's the illness. Doesn't mean you put up with it. Doesn't mean you allow that. But at least you can save yourself the heartache of thinking that your baby, your loved one, your honey, your sweetie doesn't love you. That's not what it is. If it was about love, a lot of us would have got sober a lot sooner. A lot sooner. Anyway, I hope that helps. I'll talk to you later.